Welcome to All About the Experiences. Today is my 15th episode. I have to say, every week I get excited because I know that I'm going to bring a new person, new experience, and I'm going to walk away a better person because everyone that comes to the platform, they fill my cup with something or another. Well, I want to thank last week's guests, Lauren and Rosie Myers. I cannot say how much fun it was. I mean, obviously we're family members, but it's different when you see what an impact people are making in their own community. So that was really awesome. And I just really appreciate their love, light, and awareness. And they brought it to my platform. So that was even better. Thank you also for providing great food to the community and a safe place for people to come and talk about pressing issues. And we know there's a lot of stuff to talk about right now. The two of you and the entire Vix Martinez and the Hideout communities are just near and dear to my heart. So thank you for all that you do. And speaking of near and dear to my heart, today's guest has a way of healing hearts and souls through music. With well over 20 years in the music industry, he is an artist, a producer, and an entrepreneur. He is known for pushing the boundaries as a DJ. He collaborates with musicians and elevates the DJing events and turns them into memorable experiences. He recently gained global notoriety when he brought music to the San Diego Gaslamp, high atop a balcony in the heart of the community. The Gaslamp, it's known for its nightlife, and unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it has definitely had a damper on what is always known as the place to go when you come to San Diego. Well, he decided to pay homage to the healthcare and frontline workers by playing a 45-minute set, bringing the healing power of music to the forefront. This act would not only draw people out onto their patios and balconies and into their cars just to listen and just be connected, and of course, socially distanced. His light was felt far and wide, and the draw to this community, it would just bring thousands of people out to hear the music, dance, sing, and just change the whole mood of this looming pandemic. This man took a leap of faith during the pandemic, racial and political unrest, and decided he would be a mood changer. And boy, did it work. He brought joy to so many and received accolades from the San Diego Police Department, Mayor Kevin Faulconer, and various international news outlets, including BBC World News. Pretty big shit. This is just one way he's had an impact. And without further delay, I welcome DJ I Am Noel to All About the Experiences podcast. Welcome.
Woo-hoo, that was amazing introduction.
Well, it's all true. And I'm just so thankful that you're here and blessing my platform.
I am excited and happy to be able to spend some time with you. This is awesome.
Thank you so much. Well, as I always say, let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. I always like to tell people how I met my guest. And I remember how we met. I was down at the Carnitas Shack, toying over, countless events that I had coming up and really just trying to think of the next way I can bring an event to the next level, if you will. And lo and behold, I'm sitting here having a cocktail, enjoying a taco, and the great music that was happening, I look up and it's you. And it's you and one of your artists that's playing alongside of you. And I was just like, this is it. I need to know who this man is. And so, sometimes when an idea strikes me, I just walk up. So I know I walked up to you and I was just like, I need to know you. And you were like, oh, okay. But it was not only a chance meeting, but such a wonderful start of not only a partnership, but a friendship. So I thank you for that.
Thank you. That was awesome. That was really nice to be out there. And I got to meet a lot of people out there in that space because of the open setting. And, to be able to met you was awesome too. There's really cool things happen over in that space.
Absolutely. So I just want you to be able to speak to this, but kind of tell the listeners and the viewers exactly how your DJing experiences are different than what we may have experienced with others, because you are very special and very unique in what you do.
Well, thank you for that. I think I think that comes from my upbringing, and that was playing in church and on stage. Me and my three younger brothers. I'm the oldest of four boys, and me and my three younger brothers used to lead worship in church with my family. So we all played different instruments, and had that experience like at a very, very, very young age for years. So I ended up leaving and putting the trumpet down and going to the back of the church and doing the soundboard. And at a young age, about 12 years old, I was back there standing on a stool, taking care of the mics for my brothers, my family, and the stage. And that's how it started. So,
Okay.
And learning music, playing the trumpet and doing things like that gave me a very solid foundation for music. And so when I transitioned into DJing, that translated with me. And most DJs, not to say that, a lot of these famous DJs are no good or anything, but a lot of them have not had any musical experience. They just have technical experience.
Gotcha.
And that technical experience is great. However, you have to be able to learn how to change a mood. You have to be able to feel the spirit in the place. That could be at a restaurant, that could be at a bar, it could be wherever, you know what I mean? You got to be able to feel. And that is something that I learned at a young age, which I know has blessed me to be able to get all these types of opportunities to do things. And then playing with, live instruments came from me, learning how to play with my brothers and just thinking like, wow, how am I going to separate myself from other DJs and musicians that, can't really hang with what I'm doing. And when I added a musician, which I added my brother who played the drums, and we did that here in San Diego for a couple years. And that was my first instrumentation that I implemented with DJing. And then from there, I added a sax, guitar, whatever it called for it. And so that's kind of basis of where the DJing part comes from me and why I love it so much and why it's never gotten old.
Well, I have to tell you, you definitely have a knack for reading the crowd. I know the first event that you and I partnered on, it was in a very intimate setting in the Kettner Exchange on the rooftop, and you had a saxophonist with you. And I don't remember the artist's name right now, but he was amazing. And you guys were able to read it was a definite mixed crowd, if you will. And I love the fact that you both engaged with everyone that was there. And I'm just going to put it out there. You made me look like a rock star that day. Everybody was just like, oh, we're going to do, can't we just play music, put something on the iPod? And then you came out and you did your thing. And it was just like, I'm sorry, you guys wanted to do what?
Yes. And I get off on that. I like people have underestimated and, if we be honest, looked at me and said, oh, well, what is he going to do? Or assumed what I was going to do.
Right.
And in places like that where I shock and awe through just changing the mood and giving them what they didn't even know they wanted is something
Say that again. That is for sure. And it's so funny. I just have to throw this out here. Ladies, obviously he's not hard on the eyes, and all the ladies were very interested, but also all the men in that group, they just thought you were the coolest thing walking, which you are. And they were wanting to ask, questions, and definitely wanted to say, okay, so at the next event, will he be here? And, which I love. I love that when I have a partnership with someone and it helps me elevate my, not only the event, but the experience that, my attendees have. It's amazing. And I know that you are very well versed in the corporate setting. Obviously, as of recent, and we're going to get into this too. I mean, you take wherever you are and you make it your platform. And so with that, I'll segue into this whole thing that you did when you're out on top of the balcony in the midst of all of this pandemic that we have going on, and you brought so much joy to. I was so stoked when I saw it on the news. I was just like, that's my boy. I know him. Oh my goodness. I was so proud and so excited. And I thought it was absolutely amazing. And obviously everybody in the world did, because that went viral.
It did. It was really awesome. You know, I had somebody call me and said, hey, we should consider doing this. And, you know, I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, this was someone that, you know, I didn't really think they even knew what they were talking about. So, you know, I went to the building just to kind of see how it would work out the night before, just to test it out and see. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is something that I know I want to be the first to do here in San Diego. And I took a leap of faith, because I mean, to be honest, like, our city has a pretty conservative city, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's cool. I mean, I love San Diego, but you know, a brother's on the 39th floor DJing for the city, like, you know, a
Without a
helicopter
permit.
right now, looking to see shining the light on the balcony, and my whole career could have been done data. And so it was definitely a leap of faith. And that leap of faith, I was so blessed with that leap of faith. That 45 minutes was one of the best 45 minutes in my life. All these people came on the balconies, and I would say it was like a couple thousand people, because there was
Easily
3 buildings in the area, and just the roar and the camaraderie and just the feeling of hope, you know, like, and togetherness was just like, it was astounding. So
it was amazing. And then the reason why you did it, I mean, we all know that we have several amazing people that are out here on the front lines, and we share something in common, that both of our moms, my mom is no longer here, but both of our moms were nurses, are nurses. And, you know, there's something to be said about paying homage to them, because we know what they do to nurture us, but also being out there and making sure that everyone is okay. And, you know, a lot of times people are in hospitals and they can't have their family there. So to know that they're there and standing in place of and still offering, you know, healthcare, it's amazing. And so thank you for doing that. It was totally uplifted my spirit. So I already know what it was across San Diego County. It was amazing. And obviously it reached across the pond. I mean, the story was picked up across all of these major news channels. And I was just like, I was so proud. I was just like,
yeah,
that's my guy right there. He's doing it.
that was supernatural. That was something pretty powerful. Yeah, it was cool.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you said you stepped out on faith, and I know that you're faith-based, and it shows in how you carry yourself. Obviously, we travel in the hospitality and travel industries here in San Diego. And I run into you, and like anybody that knows you, they know you're the guy with the hat, with the great smile, and just you bring so much joy to so many, not only through what you do in the realm of your artistry and DJing, but just being a good guy. And I'd like to think that it has to be based in your faith. And so I know that you started off, you know, talking about how you started off in church. And, you know, when things get pretty hectic, that's when I go back to my roots. And so is that something that you definitely touch back into, especially amidst all of the things that are going on right now?
Yeah, it is definitely a basis and foundation for my life. You know, and I could say it was like that since I was a young boy. However, you know, growing up, I was very experimental and curious, and so I lived my life in a way to figure out if I don't really like something or do like something, and that always, you know, that would get me in different precarious situations. But I think also, you know, some good some good butt whippings from your parents, you know, that helps out too. And those butt whippings you remember for the rest of your life. So
Facts.
you make a decision, there's a butt whooping in the back of your memory that you can think about. But definitely, you know, my faith has always been the focal point and my star to just focus on, even when I might have not been making the best decisions. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
That was always still my faith was like, okay, let me get back to what I know I'm supposed to be doing and representing. So I took that on in a deeper way, and because it was always hard to figure out how I can you know, mix and mash up my faith with what I do. I mean, I DJ in clubs. I'm doing all kinds of crazy parties and all this stuff. And, you know, there was this one day I realized, you know, I'm like, my faith is just a part of me. And I could bring that in wherever I'm at. And
that's right.
Inspire somebody. I'm not trying to hit nobody over the head, and I'm usually out there partying with them. But I just want people to feel normal and that they don't have to do all this crazy stuff to exercise their faith and to have hope and to believe, you know what I mean? And so I just want to be like a normal human being, like everyone else, but hopefully inspire them through my faith and how I walk that out every day.
Well, it definitely shows that you and I, like I said, we travel in similar circles. And one of the things that is a constant about the people that, you know, we surround ourselves with is that, you know, you definitely know how to get the turn up going. But, you know, when you're walking in that light, it's shown no matter where you are. I don't care if it's the darkest of the darkest clubs or what have you, your light will shine through, and it definitely does. So, and I'm fortunate because I know you and we're friends. So.
Well, you know, that's how it works. You know, light attracts light.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, speaking of that, I mean, one of the things that is a constant right now is not only the global pandemic. I mean, we'll touch on that for a little bit, but, you know, just having to shift, whether it's how you do business or even how you do in your everyday life. I mean, like going into the grocery store, I mean, a sister has to wipe off the lipstick because it's all over my mask. So, you know, how are you making these adjustments and shifting in the wake of COVID?
So some of the adjustments, for me, when things get pressurized and it gets hard and unpredictable, first thing I do is secure my faith and you know, I really lock in and listen to the voice and make sure I'm, you know, navigating properly. And once I do that, then, you know, I start to make my moves. But, you know, I've had to pivot through my business. Pretty much DJing has just been done. I've pretty much have probably been one of the only DJs in the city, maybe in California, DJing, you know what I mean? Like all these other major DJs, you know, all these big top 100 DJs, you know, I've been blessed to be able to still be out in front of some people. And so through that, it's opened some doors for some virtual bookings and things of that nature. But, you know, going to the stores and the gym and just things that I would normally do on a regular, that has totally changed up. But I like to I like to be flexible and adapt and just kind of, you know, ride the wave, because I want to be accessible and be relevant, even through this whole turmoil and pandemic at the end of all of this. So I keep that in mind also.
Absolutely. Well, I know you mentioned the gym, and I know, I mean, I'm sure people will see in the promos that I put out, you put in work on that body, you got it together. So let me ask you, what has that been like? Because I know that more often than not, you know, with the closures that we've experienced here, specifically in San Diego County, you might be working out in the gym one day and then the next day it's shut down. So how have you made that shift with working out? Because obviously you put a lot of work in there. So when we were closed down, what other things did you do to obviously keep up your fitness?
Yeah, that's a part of me, like my faith. My, physical activity is a part of who I am. So, I would be out there running. I would be out there doing dips and pull-ups and push-ups and just adapting. And I think that's part of some of the success and reason why I'm still afloat is just learning to adapt to what things that I can't control. But
Mm,
as far as the physical part, I was just trying to stay active as much as possible and still feel good. I mean,
right.
it's almost like loving on myself.
There
So
you go. Self-love.
yeah, whether there was a pandemic or something even worse happening, you know, physical activity is a way that I love on myself, and I would figure out a way how to do it. If I had to swim in the ocean, if I had to, whatever, I would figure it out. But yeah, that's how I tried to take it.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that and I hear it's like a continuing theme with you is faith. You leaped out on faith when you DJ'd for all of the Gaslamp downtown, and obviously that went viral and put you in the forefront and in the spotlight. And then, I mean, how you manage your faith is through your physicality as well and taking care of your temple. And so faith is definitely there, leaping out on faith and just really trying to, stay centered amidst all of this kind of unrest that's going on. But also, I mean, our political and racial climate is just at an all-time crescendo. And here in San Diego, it is a bit more conservative, and you're out there in the forefront. So how are you using your medium to reach out and be impactful in that way?
I think so. When we first moved here from Louisiana, my family and me and my three younger brothers, we lived in Ranch. We moved into a couple different cities, but then we went to Ranch Bernardo. When we went to Ranch Bernardo, that was the first time I experienced racism like that. And on our garage, they spray painted the N word, "Get out of our neighborhood."
Mm,
So, and I was probably a 12, maybe 11. And then me and my brothers are all 2 years apart. So we like from 7 to 11. So, um, but experiencing that and experiencing it from that age all the way up to, college in this city, um, it it gives you some backbone and also gives you you have to adapt and figure out ways to stand out and get your respect almost
mhm.
um, in different ways. And so me and my brothers, from my parents teaching us, we looked at it as, and my parents came from Louisiana. They were drinking out of colored water fountains and had to go in the back of restaurants and they had to do some other stuff. So my mom and dad was like, boy, take your ass to school. You know what I mean?
Right,
You know how to do that. You ain't got to do what we had to do.
right.
So we had our own burden, but we were just like, okay, we're going to figure out how we're going to make this work. And so, um, growing up in this area, it gave me, I just tried to figure out ways how to stand out and figure out how I can overcome that. And so for me, I look at it as leverage. And I am Black. So being Black, whatever I do, I am representing my Black community. I'm representing my family from Louisiana. I'm representing light. I'm representing people that stand for justice and truth and fairness. So a
Yes.
lot of it, I don't have to say anything. You know what I mean? Because it's going to exude from everything that I do. So I try to be in the middle about, not in the middle from that point of view, but as far as how I'm vocal about it, I will speak on it and stand on that foundation. But I also let my actions and my work and my artistry and who I am as a person speak louder than all of that stuff too. And
Mm,
so when I DJ, when I share my faith, when I make music or any of those things, I keep that in mind and allow that my actions to speak louder than anything else. But it has been very disheartening to see everything that's going on. Also to see some of my, people I call friends and people that I work with or have worked with, take sides of injustice. You know what I mean? And that's been the most disheartening thing. And then them expecting me to still be cool. I mean,
Right.
and I'll be honest, even some churches I've gone to, took a side of injustice and the opposite of what they're preaching and teaching, which makes it very uncomfortable to even want to go back to any place like that, because I don't know if they even really have my back. So, I don't think people understand how it has affected us. And I say us as Black people because we're in the middle. We're in the middle of that. And we're affected in ways that I don't think people truly understand and they don't even recognize. And, the only way that I know I can overcome that is also I leverage it. And so when I could feel racism when somebody looks at me or shakes my hand, people realize that we don't have that radar, but we have that radar. I have that radar. I already know what your problem is, and I don't care what it is, but I am going to leverage what you think you know about me or what you assume about me, and I'm going to blow your mind.
Yes.
And you're going to feel ashamed that you even thought that. And then you're going to take that shame and you're going to spread that out to the rest of the people so that the people you talk to won't think about people like me like that either. So that's how I've done it. I know we're in a very even like really tumultuous time right now, but that's my game plan. That's how I continue to work through it and in hopes that the light will break through, which I know it will. I know my grandparents and all, them that were on plantations and things that they went through wasn't for nothing. No. I believe that we are the generation that's about to break through this. And if I continue to do what I know to do and leverage it and put light out there, I'm sure we're going to win.
Absolutely. And I wholeheartedly agree with you with that. I know, in the industry that we're in, when we're doing events, I know that when I walk in, this is probably the most normal that I look. I change the look all the time, and people you can't judge a book by its cover. I mean, you never know. And one thing I will say, and I'm generalizing right now, but Black people are multifaceted. We've always had to think on our feet and figure things out because nothing is handed to you, that's for sure. And if I make it look easy, it's because I'm working real hard. And my mother always told me that. She was just like, all you can do is be in control of you. And, unfortunately, more often than not, I measured against, people with a lot more opportunity, let's say, sometimes. And even though I know that sometimes that does exist and is unjust and unfair and all these things, it doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do to sustain myself and my family and make sure that, moving forward, we will have generational wealth. My kids, I laugh and we go back and forth in our family. My kids were raised like what we saw on the Cosby Show. And I was just like, to live like that, have a 2-parent household, have parents that are both professionals and, going to your games, involved in your schooling and things like that. And not to say that my parents didn't want that, but unfortunately it was a different time for them. And at, some point we were in a single parent family and my mom did all that she could to stay afloat and make sure we were educated, and that even if an opportunity didn't afford itself, she says, okay, so you make that opportunity, you make that. And so even with this podcast right now, it's just like, I feel so empowered because I can have whoever I want come to this platform and talk about whatever we want to talk about. And if you don't like it, you don't have to tune in, but you know how haters are. They always want to be a part. And if you do love it, then you can come and be inspired and take that,
That's awesome. And that's awesome. We platforms are just amazing like that. And people can tune in and it's pretty awesome what you're doing with your podcast and how it is. going to affect people future and even now.
Well, I feel very inspired by that and very inspired by you because I'm just going to go right into the other thing is that I know that you have something big coming up this weekend. And I felt so honored when you let me in on this. And I'm going to let you speak to it right now.
Cool. Well, so as a pivot from DJing, you know, I have been moving into more of an artist, which is producing the music, and even the way of thinking from a DJ to an artist is different, and you know, branding and all that. So I've been doing this transition all the way up before COVID, and then when COVID happened, I was more forced to go into that space, which I'm thankful. So with that, I've been producing some music, and I will be releasing a song called Keep Fighting On October 4th. It was produced by myself and my brother with J Created Media. His name is Jonathan David. And I helped produce the video as well. And just wanted to kind of put something out there that would inspire people to keep fighting on. And with the backdrop of the San Diego city, which has been supportive of me my whole career, I thought I would put something together to inspire the world based out of our city. So I'm excited about the release.
I'm excited for you. I feel very fortunate that I was able to pre-screen, and I have to tell people you are in for a treat. I felt inspired, and you know how we always say when the hair on the back of your neck stands up and you get those goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's so impactful, and I can't wait. I think this is just what we need right now.
That makes me happy because that's the goal, you know, is to take what I did DJing in a physical space,
Right.
and be able to accentuate that feeling through my music and whatever performance to the world. And for you to say that's how you felt, that makes me almost tear up because that's my goal, you know, and I'm glad that you felt that way and you were able to
I
see
certainly felt that way, and I know that that will be felt across. And I think sometimes, you know, we can talk, we can listen to music, and you'll feel some way from that. You can feel some way from a conversation, but when you take that and you put it into this visual packaging, it was impactful because, you know, for me, I'm here in San Diego County, so a lot of the, you know, visuals I can definitely relate to. I can relate to how I felt in those same areas
Yeah.
where there was positivity and some negativity. And so all of these emotions were wound up. And then it's coming from you. Your artistry is through the roof. You're 100 when it comes to that. And you can tell the love, the creativity, and just the feelings that I'm speechless right now, but it was like when I was watching it and then I watched it the second time, I was just like, wow, this is what we need right now. We
Yeah.
absolutely need this. Absolutely.
That's amazing. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with the world, and I'm hoping that it will go viral, and it'll just be spread to touch people and give people hope, and just to keep fighting on, you know. And that whole term "keep fighting on" is just like keep doing what you do, you know. If you're a chef,
Absolutely.
keep doing what you do. If you sing, keep doing that. If you're a corporate planner, figure out how to pivot and keep doing that. If you know, you're loving your husband, keep doing that. It's just keep fighting on. We fight by continuing to never give up, and that's and helping people and supporting people and standing for truth. So that's what's good.
Certainly. Well, tell everybody how they can find it. And I think you may allow me to host it
Yeah.
as well on my platform, but I also want you to tell people how they can find it, and if there's any other things that are connected to not only the video, but as far as downloading the music, everything. Let us know how we can support you.
That's awesome. So a great way to support me will be when the song is released. You can find it on all the music platforms, you know, Apple Music and Beatport. A great way to support me is to purchase the song.
I will
So
do that.
if you go and search the song under Keep Fighting On, I Am Noel, and purchase the song is a great way to do that. You can see it on my website, which is iamnoel.media. And all of my social platforms are at iamnoel.media. So it's
And you are on everything. I love it. Like every social media platform, I mean, from LinkedIn to
yeah,
Facebook, Instagram, you're everywhere.
yeah, it's all there under the at symbol iamnoel.media. I have other music that I release, like remixes, on my SoundCloud, and that one is I Am Noel Official, and or you could just search I Am Noel on on SoundCloud too. But you know, those are ways that you can support me. I also have some nonprofits I work with, like Second Chance here in San Diego, and you know, those are people that I try to support and donate to. So any support that does come into me, a good portion also goes out to supporting the city that has supported me so long, and like that also.
Talk about giving back to your community. You are the epitome of that. That is for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, what would you want your impact to be on the world? But I can honestly say, after being able to pre-screen your video and that representation, I already know what an impact that's going to have. But beyond that, what do you see you working towards as your impact on the world?
I guess what I see on what I would like to do that would be an impact to the world is I really want to impact the world through music and media, and share light, love, and faith, second chances, and truth through that. I would like that to, you know, my goal is for that to touch as many people possible, and just giving people hope, you know, through these times right now. And, you know, I'm hoping things get better, but they
Right.
could get worse before they get better. You know, they
Facts.
could. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. But
Certainly.
even in that time, you know, I want people to, you know, no matter what's going on around them, that their space can be solidified. My space is truth. My space is light. My space is love. My space is hope. And I hope to use the platforms of music, media, and even, you know, me speaking, doing public speaking or whatever with my voice that will reverberate those things that I just discussed out to the world and as to as many people as possible. And you know, my life is to serve mankind. That's what my goal is, and I'm blessed to be able to do that through something that I love to do, which is
Yes.
sharing music and my voice with people. So that's my goal.
Well, I love that. And I also love the fact that, I know that you pour into yourself. You give that self-love through your faith, through, taking good care of your temple, your body, and blessing us with music. What else kind of gets you going too? Because I know you are one of these eligible bachelors out here in San Diego, and I have had several ladies reach out to me to ask me about you. So I'm just going to get in your business a little bit.
Yeah, that's what's up. You
So are
know,
we out here? Are we dating? What are we doing?
we, we're dating, but ambitious right now. I mean, these apps, you know, you can only do so much from the app, you know, and
Right.
but you know, it's rough. It's rough.
It's
I thought
rough. I know.
it's even 20 times more rough right now. But you know, I am definitely single, and you know, I'm like the dude that's like, I need a ride or die and a bestie and a, you know, somebody that we can run around and have a good time and laugh and travel whenever that allows us to be able to do that again. And
Right.
you know, so I find ways to be out there and I have a few friends that I hang out with every so often, but I've tried to not let the pandemic, totally cripple even that space. So, being out there and having drinks and partying sometimes and just being alive,
Right.
I'm hoping that'll bring around the right person and the right people as soon as possible.
Well, why don't you just, since we got your attention, and we tell our listeners, because trust me, my DM is blowing up behind you. Tell these ladies out here what you're looking for, because we don't want somebody to waste your time if
Yeah.
they're not me. And I say this facetiously, but I know it's not easy out there dating. And when you are not only a public figure, but also someone who is faith-based, and your trajectory is going one way and you want somebody to grow and follow that path along with you, tell us what you're looking for in that way. Because I know people think San Diego is the land of plenty, and there's a lot of beautiful people around here, but sometimes you get to see those beautiful people are not so pretty on the inside. So what is it that you're looking for in the way of your forever boo?
Wow, my forever boo. She she is gonna have to be able to hang with me because I work and I get stuff done and just I'm active and I I don't need that much sleep. I mean I could I like to live and to be up and be out and around, and so definitely gonna need somebody that can
Keep up
hang
with you.
with my time schedule because that's one major thing. And then someone that's just active, loves to laugh. I feel that my faith is contagious. So if someone really didn't have faith, they sure gonna have some faith by the time they hanging out with me. So that's not always a prerequisite, but having someone that understands where my faith come from is pretty awesome. And someone that just loves music, someone I could go to a festival with and lose 3 days of just having a good time. Being active again is a major part, and just a good smile and someone that's kind. It's so hard to
Ooh, say
find
that
someone
again.
kind. I mean, jeez,
Yeah.
like it's a foreign word or something. Can you just can their first nature be kind? That is something that to me is hot and sexy. Someone that could just be sweet and kind, and it goes a long way. You know what
I
I
can see
mean?
a bunch of women out here in San Diego walking around. I'm kind now.
I would hope so. Hopefully, I can inspire, so that we can, some of these men would stop acting that way. Also, if we had some kind, or vice versa. But just
Right.
as a human, just being kind is can go a long way. And just strong-willed. I'm independent. I am not scared of a boss, queen, someone
All
that makes
right. You heard it here first, ladies.
I'm
Now, let me
I'm not.
ask you, can you cook?
I can cook a little bit.
So you don't burn water, basically.
Oh, yeah. I am. I can cook. I can cook, but in comparison to I think of people in my family, they would be like, "Oh, that boy can't
See, I
cook."
was hoping that you would say you could do some jambalaya, some gumbo, or, I mean, you're from Louisiana.
I can do that stuff, but there's when you got people in your family that do it, you ain't that can really do it. It's like, don't even try, boy. You can do it, but you might have
Well,
to. Oh.
well, you heard it here first, ladies. I think he's laid it out. So don't be calling me and being in my DMs asking me about DJ I Am Noel. Okay. He said it right here. And if you don't remember, then you'll have to hit the replay and listen to this podcast again.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I know just in the circles, again, I mentioned that we travel in, and just who you are in your friends group, what you bring to the community, your faith. I cannot wait till everybody hears this release on October the 4th. And you heard it here. He told you how to access all of that and support, but you are just an absolute asset to anybody that, you come into their embrace and their circle. And so I thank you for that. And I thank you for honestly putting San Diego on the map in a troublesome time. You were able to bring love and light to the forefront. And I'm proud that I know you and I can call you a friend, and that we've partnered on events and, done great things. And I just see you continuing to grow in that manner. And I can say he came to All About the Experiences.
Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I had a great time and feel honored and thankful for this and being able to partner with you in this facet. It was very humbling and just so awesome, so awesome. And I pray blessings on everything you touch and do from this point forward also, because you are putting out a lot of light and love and great information and just sharing, people's lives with other people, which gives us all hope. We all feel human when we see other humans. So that's awesome.
For sure. Transparency brews love and light, for sure. Before we start winding down, is there anybody that you would like to offer a shout out to or accolades to?
I would probably say a big thank you to my parents and how I am my parents and the good and the bad, and chosen to focus my life on being a good representation of them and their hard work and my family in Louisiana. But I also like to shout out my brother, Jonathan, who is my music director and has helped me put together some of my music that I'm gonna release to the world. And who else? I think, I'm probably gonna get in trouble because I didn't say everybody.
I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
But I think people know who they are because I make sure they know that I appreciate them and love them. But I got to give a shout out to you for having me here and
thank you.
This platform. So I think that's all of them right now.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. And, one of the things that I enjoy about following you on social media, not only seeing what you're doing in the wake of, your artistry, but also just your family. And I love seeing the Noel strong, Noel boys. I love that. I love, this is a time for us to connect as families and get back to that. Being centered and pouring into each other. And so I see that, and I love that you have that in your mix, and it shows in who you are.
Shout out all of my brothers, and that's Christopher, and that is Jonathan, and that is Marcus. And so them Noel boys, all four of us, we've been blessed to be born with each other, and we love each other a lot. So I got to give them a major shout out because they also are part of why I do what I do.
And they're all handsome ladies.
But you know what? They all married.
This is true. You're the last one. Yes, I know. I saw that post and you were like, okay, I'm the last one. Well, thank you for coming on my platform and making such a huge impact in San Diego and beyond. And I cannot wait until October 4th when the world will get to know what I already know. And one last thing, tell people how they can find your website, and if they want to book you for a corporate event, private event, or what have you. I want you to be able to speak to that as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So yeah, people can go to my website, which is iamnoel.media. You can do bookings there, but I am doing some virtual bookings, some Zoom bookings. I'm doing, bookings for apartment high-rise communities right now, where they're just booking me and putting me in the common area, and people are coming on their balcony or social distancing. But you can also reach me at Noel, Noel, at iamnoel.media, and send me an email there. and tell them that Cheryl sent you,
That's
so
right.
I can hook you up with a little bit of, Cheryl Rogers pricing point right there.
Aw.
What did through this podcast. But yeah, Noel at iamnoel.media. I am available for work and appearances anytime.
Wonderful. Well, I want all of the listeners to continue to share in the excitement. I mean, as you can see, I bring amazing people to this platform and they bless us with all of their stories and, their journeys. And so I encourage you all to continue to tune in weekly, never miss an episode, subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform by name, all about the experiences. And also to get the latest on brand updates and things that I'm doing, check me out at allabouttheexperiences.com. And as I always say before I close out, make sure that you're checking in, like they say, on your strong friends, touching base with each other. But moreover than that, make sure that you are taking care of yourself. And much like DJ I Am Noel shared today, you have to take care of that temple and find those things that center you, whether it's in your faith or anything else that you're doing, especially during this time. Pour into yourself. And so, with that being said, make sure that it's always all about the experiences.